Tell me West Coast Rob, man. And welcome to my podcast, You Bitch. The thoughts, views, and opinions you hear on this show are just that. My thoughts, my views, my opinions. So if you don't like them, disagree with them, or whatever the case may be, well, there's a simple solution to all that, and that's just stop listening. But if you care to partake and join the conversation, sit back, turn it up, and enjoy the show. Y'all know what I was trying to say. YeahDat. Welcome back to another episode of the YeahDat podcast, hosted by yours truly, West Coast Roberto. Thank you again for tuning in. For those of you watching on YouTube, for those of you listening, what up, though? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the YeahDat podcast. This is episode 26, and we are just rolling, man. You know what I mean? It's like a ball on a hill rolling. You know what I'm saying? Such a great analogy. But thanks again for tuning in. You know, I truly appreciate it. Like I always say, I can't do it without the support of you listeners, you viewers, those of you who reach out on the social media platforms, who give kudos, etc., man. I got so much love for y'all. I know I express it every episode. And, you know, I'm not going to stop doing it. So, episode 26, episode 25, the last episode recap, it was with Mr. Sam Tielemans, licensed marriage and family therapist who specializes in pornographic addiction and couples healing. For those of you who have listened to that episode, I know y'all found it very interesting because, you know, I got a lot of feedback from a lot of you who have listened, and, you know, you dropped your lines mentioning how much you enjoyed the episode, and I appreciate the feedback as always. For those of you who haven't tuned into that episode, you can watch the episode. You can watch my interview with Sam on YouTube at youtube.com/westcoastrob, or you can just, pause this one, pick this one up where you left off, and then go check that one out. We went over what pornographic addiction is, you know, the demographics, signs, triggers, what it does to impact couples, etc. You know, that was my gift to you all out there, post or during Valentine's Day. You know, it was like the Valentine's time frame. You know, lovers season, lovers, yada yada yada. For those of you who didn't have a significant other to spend the day or weekend with, I hope you treated yourself to something nice. YeahDat. But make sure you go check out that episode as well as every other episode that you haven't listened to on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Every episode isn't on YouTube, but all the episodes are on all the podcast platforms. So check that out. Episode 25 with Mr. Sam Tielemans, licensed marriage and family therapist who specializes in pornographic addiction and couples healing. But like I said, I hope everybody had a good week. Had a good week. The lovers time frame, I hope y'all went and did something. I hope those of you who did not have somebody to spend the day with or time with, y'all just didn't sit around mope, look at your phones, and hate on everybody else who was doing fucking something, because that's just a lot of wasted time and energy, and fucking you can't get your time back. So I hope everybody's shit was good. You know, Super Bowl was on Sunday. Super Bowl is boring as fuck. Team that I wanted to win did not win. I don't even want to talk about shit. You know what I mean? The Golden State Rams won. That's what's up. And you know, halftime show. So I heard a lot of mixed reviews from the halftime show. I heard a lot of people saying how much they liked it, and then some people saying it was mediocre, it was overrated. What was your take on the halftime show? I didn't think it was bad. It was entertaining. I thought it was entertaining. The fucking steal of the show or highlight of the show, it seems like was 50 hanging upside down trying to recreate the motherfucking In the Club video. He was the butt of all kinds of jokes and memes. I know you've seen him. I know you heard him at work, at school, wherever you are, or whatever you were doing the next day. I know you heard him all. But then he's like, come on, that was like 20 years ago, 19 years ago. The fool aged and put on fucking old man, grown ass weight. I mean, what do you expect? If I was 50, I would have been like, man, fuck no, I'm not hanging upside down, bro. If I'm hanging upside down, don't expect me to fucking rap any bars, because it's not going to be easy and I'm not going to be able to breathe. And you can fucking see that homie was uncomfortable holding the chain, and he barely getting the words out because he ain't had no fucking air. It was funny. It was funny. I understand what they were trying to do, which was cool. But the halftime show, I thought it was entertaining. And it's crazy because I was watching it with my daughters, and they didn't know anyone. They're like, well, they knew Snoop, because everyone knows Snoop, from white people to little kids to old people. Everyone knows Snoop. Shout out to the big Uncle Snoop. But everybody else, my daughters are like, who is that? I don't know who that is. This is this. And man, that just makes me feel old. But it's all good though. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? I'm aging like fine wine. But I didn't think the Super Bowl halftime show wasn't too bad. It was entertaining. I liked Kendrick's part. I think it was laid out very well in regards to like the length for each artist. You know, Mary J had the little two songs that she did, which the second song, the No More Drama joint, I wasn't a fan of that. She should have did like Real Love or some super throwback. But Eminem had the one little Lose Yourself joint, which was cool. I mean, they had Anderson .Paak on the drums. You know what I'm saying? That's my dude right there. Kendrick's part was a good length. He had a good little segment. His segment was dope. And then I like how they focused it on Snoop and Dre, it was cool. It was cool. I enjoyed it. You know, I'm from the West Coast anyway, so I was gonna like it, enjoy it regardless. I thought it was cool. But I don't know, people, mixed reviews, huh? Stop hating. I mean, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, that was that. You had Lover's Day, you had the Super Bowl. So, Monday was a very, I know at work it was a very talkative. There's a lot of talking points to start the morning off and to talk about throughout the day, from the game, from the halftime show and all that stuff. But I hope you all had a great week, and I hope you have another one leading into this weekend or week or whatever. So before I get into the talking points, I want to give a shout out to my brother Paul and wifey Tamaya. They found out the sex of their second child, and homie's having another girl. Shout out to Team Girls Dad. You know what I'm saying? It takes a real man to raise two girls into good women. So I know you're up for the challenge, and I know you're gonna do very well, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you wanted a boy, but you know what I mean? My philosophy for those out there listening is, if you want a boy, you gotta make love. Because every baby starts off with balls, but then if you're smashing, you knock the balls off the baby. That's how you end up with a girl. That's how I have two girls, because I be fucking smashing. So it's evidently, so does Paul. So shout out to you, my brother. YeahDat, smashing two girls. You know what I'm saying? About to have two girls, excuse me. About to have two girls. So shout out to you. Congratulations on finding out the sex of your second baby. And also shout out to my man, Vernon Henderson. I know the name sounds familiar because he was a guest. He was on episode 23. Actor, writer, comedian Vernon Henderson recently got married to his wife. Congratulations to you, my man. You know what I mean? Very proud of you. Doing grown-up things, you know what I'm saying? Making grown-up moves. Yeah, that. So shout out to my homies. Shout out to everybody listening. I mean, it's just a lot of good things happening in people's lives. I like seeing positivity amongst people I know or have known. You know, there's a lot of pregnancies going on right now. There's a lot, even with like old hussies that I used to know, you know what I'm saying? Having babies and shit like that. I mean, shout out to all the old hussies who are pregnant, getting ready to pop too, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for all of y'all. Happy for all of y'all, man. I hope the baby's daddies are there and, I mean, hold you down for the rest of your kids' lives. All right. Moving along. So, you know, Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying? Lover's Day. It means we're halfway through Black History Month, you know what I mean? And I hope everybody, to me, it's one of them months where it's kind of like one of those mixed feelings in regards to history, because I know you've heard it before, Black History Month, the emphasis of it being only a month long and then it being the shortest month out of all the months is crazy. Whatever, controversial, whatever the case may be, whatever your take is, however you feel about it, that's on you. Black history is American history. I get it. I mean, I agree. But me personally, I'm talking from my personal standing. You know, I'm slowly learning a lot more about Black history. Because me growing up, I don't really know much about Black history. Now, I know a lot of you watching out there, you see a Black guy, but I'm mixed. I'm Black and Filipino. But when people see me, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, Black dude. So growing up, I was raised by a single parent. My mom, Filipino. You know, father was out of my life when I was 5 years old. So I didn't really have that aspect of the Black side, the Black culture, to kind of, school me and give me those history lessons. So, all the Black homies, it was just that natural bond. You learn stuff through rap, through media and all that stuff. But now you get older, you get more mature, that mental maturity kicks in. You're more open-minded. And, you learn about a lot of things, like on some real stuff. I learned about Juneteenth a couple years ago. I didn't know what Juneteenth was. I'm not ashamed to say it too, because it's like every day you learn something. You learn new things every day from new people, from new experiences, new encounters, whatever the case may be. But yeah, like learning, I'm always up for learning new things. I learned about Juneteenth. It was like 2019, I believe, 2019 or 2020, when they were getting ready to make it a nationally recognized holiday. So I didn't know what it was. And then, like, for example, at the Super Bowl, the Negro National Anthem, I've never heard of that. Never, And then, like, Mary Mary and the choir put it down. It was beautiful to hear. Like, I don't know any of the words. So for those of you out there listening, and it's not even necessarily all my African Americans or whatever the case may be out there listening or watching, whatever. You can be a white male, a white woman, a Hispanic, an Asian, whatever the case may be. Keep your minds open to learning new things, like learning about the Negro National Anthem. Like, is there an Asian national anthem? Like a specific Asian national anthem? If there's a Negro national anthem, is there an Asian one? Is there? Are there national anthems for every culture? Keep an open mind is all I'm trying to say, because just because you're a black male doesn't mean you know key parts of your culture, but portraying or you're expected to. Like, I guarantee after the stuff I just said, a lot of people are gonna be like, wow, really? But you're a black dude. You know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. That doesn't take away from me being a black male, me experiencing black struggles or hardships in my life. It doesn't take any of that shit away. I'm still a fucking black dude in America dealing with the same shit that every other black individual has dealt with or is going through. But you can be more educated in regards to your culture. So for those of you out there listening, those of you out there watching that aren't or are in the same boat as me, I mean, educate yourself. You know what I mean? Go learn some things. Don't be ashamed to learn new things about yourself, your culture, and all that. So I learned about the Negro National Anthem on Sunday, watching the Super Bowl. Didn't know what they were singing. Mary, Mary, didn't know what they were singing. And then until it was announced that what they were singing. So it was beautiful. Yeah, you know what I mean? Halfway through Black History Month, and I just thought it was crazy. It was kind of enlightening. I was also I checked my daughter out of school, and on the TV screen in the office, they have Black History, like a Black History PowerPoint with the inventors of different things like George Washington Carver and peanut butter. Who else did they have? They had several others. See, I'm not familiar with a lot of educators or inventors from our culture. So, you know, take it from me. Like, get in the books, learn. I learned a lot. I actually learned a lot from the people I work with. There's a lot of people I work with who are very knowledgeable in regards to like Black culture and Black history and all that stuff. But just me growing up, you know, I grew up raised by a Filipino woman, single parent home, in a Mexican culture. Growing up in National City, California, I grew up in a barrio. I grew up in a Filipino and Mexican culture. You know what I mean? Quinceañeras, Mexican food, Filipino food, cholos, lowriders. That's the shit. That's me. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with that. I grew up in that culture. You know, predominantly Mexican, Filipino culture. So I got a lot to learn. And then especially for my daughters, you know, being African American, you know, I want them to really understand hardships. I try not to segregate them or block them from the negative aspect of America and our culture, because they need to know that, so that once they experience some kind of negativity in regards to race or whatever, they'll know and they'll understand what it is they're going through. So for those of you out there listening, I hope you are really open-minded in regards to whatever month it is, whether it's Black History Month, Pacific Islander Month, Indigenous People Awareness Month. I mean, sexual assault, whatever the case may be. Don't just turn a blind eye to it. Be open, learn, and help others. Help spread awareness. You know what I mean? Because that's something that we all need in society today, especially in America today. We know we're divided because there's no understanding of the people we live with. That's the issue. There's no understanding of who this person is, who that person is. It's just a perception of what it is. So, you know, get out there, learn some stuff, be open-minded. I mean, and help spread that awareness. I mean, I'm doing it, and I hope you all out there are doing it too. So, with that being said, communication. When you're out there learning stuff and you're trying to spread the word, you know, communication is key. Communication is something that is so vital in not only everyday life, but workplace, everything. It drives everything. It can either make a conversation, break a conversation, make the fucking the not the morale, the fucking it can dictate a climate. It can, as in climate, I mean like a workplace climate, a household climate, all that stuff. Communication is key, and I know we touched on it in the last episode with Sam Tielemans, and when I referenced the conversation part, where if you're engaged in a conversation with someone, be engaged. Look that person in the eye, be open, be listening. Don't sit there and engage in the conversation and then boom, shoot off to somebody off to the side and then deter. Like, don't do that. That's something that will, one, it feels like it's disrespectful. It is disrespectful. It doesn't feel like it. It's disrespectful to the person trying to communicate with you. And secondly, it just shows the type of listener you are. But communication is key. So, prime example. So we had a situation at work, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the GroupMe app, my goodness, I was introduced to the GroupMe app 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was introduced to the GroupMe app through my daughter's soccer club at the time. They're like, oh yeah, we have this app called GroupMe. Excuse me. We have this app called GroupMe. You know, this is how we update everybody. Blah 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 blah. Cool. Boom. Sign me up. Whatever. We moved to where we are currently living. You know, didn't think nothing of the GroupMe. I get here, and that's how we run. That's like the main fucking staple of how we communicate amongst various groups at work. So you have the GroupMe app, and then there's different subcategory groups within the initial GroupMe app. I swear I have like 10 of them shits. But the example, I had one of my peers put something out in the GroupMe app saying, "Oh, can somebody go pick this person up, take them to the hospital?" Yada yada, woo woo. The way he put it out in the group, it was perceived as, this is how I perceived it as, was, okay, he's just not wanting to go because of the delivery of the message. It was very just generic brand, like, hey, or bland, like, hey, is somebody in this area to go take this person to the hospital, whatever the case may be. So it caused a big riff, caused some backlash, you know, a lot of animosity back and forth amongst parties. And this was over the weekend last weekend, which led into the work week this week. So, you know, there's a lot of tension in the air, you know what I mean? So today I called a meeting amongst my peer group, you know, just kind of set the record straight or whatnot. And I put this meeting out a day or so ago so that people can plan for it. Same individual who put out the bland message knew about it, but was a no-show. Like, where is this person at? Where are you at? Peers hitting this person up. I'm like, where are you? We're trying to do this. It's supposed to start 10 minutes ago. Person comes in and is like, oh, I was with so-and-so. I was with two of my bosses, whatever, two of my supervisors. So the lack of his detailed message in the initial message over the weekend regarding the hospital visit is what caused the tension amongst him, particularly him and I have had a tension, and it was there, it was noticeable, which I didn't give a fuck about. But at the end of the day, you can't have a workplace like that, and you can't run a workplace smoothly with tension in the air. So me being the mentally more mature individual that I've noticed I've become over the years, you know, I am one to talk it out with people, and I just wanted to clear the air. However, that individual was I had the feeling he was blowing the meeting off because he knew what it was going to lead into. So when he finally stepped into the room, it escalated into another heated argument about the tardiness and then the lack of punctuality and the disrespect shown towards me. So finally got through that. I mean, was going through my points, and it came full circle, led back into the initial message over the weekend about the individual needing to go to the hospital. So I brought it up, and of course that person gets on the defensive side, and I'm like, the way you delivered it was perceived as you weren't even gonna try. It's like, okay, well, this person is over here. Is anybody over there so they can help this person out? Now, he came back with some stupid rebuttals or whatever the case may be, and the two individuals who got in a back and forth over the weekend in the group me was myself and another individual. So we were having a conversation with that person. Of course, he was like, being defensive. So we had some outside parties of a couple of our peers who are also included in the group chime in, and they said the same thing. They're like, how I perceived that message, the way you delivered it was like, okay, I'm not gonna go over there because it's over there. Is anybody over there? Can you do it? So then that individual's like, okay, I can kind of understand why you took it like that. But then if I say ER or if I say hospital, then there shouldn't be no kind of debate. It should just be, okay, what can I do to help? And we talk about it afterwards. But then we were like, no, you cannot. You can't, just because you incorporate some key words in a bland statement that is perceived to be you not wanting to make an effort to go to that area, doesn't make it right. So after about 10-15 minutes of debating amongst the collective group, the said individual was like, okay, well, I understand now. Next time I'll be a little more in depth in my meanings, because perception is perception. Whether you are doing something or not, people's perceptions are prime motivators and dictators of what their final thought belief is going to be of whatever the case may be. So it leads me back to just communicating. Like, I really enjoyed. I didn't enjoy the heated aspects of the meeting. The meeting lasted about an hour, but I really enjoyed the result of it because it resulted in everybody coming together as a collective and understanding that, hey, it's all good. We just need to communicate better in regards to whatever it is that we need help with. So communication is so vital in everything. If you need help out there, just be specific, be real with whatever the case may be. Which brings me to another thing. After that meeting, the peer group came, came together, boom, kumbaya, hugged it out, good to go, cool. Shout out to everybody in the group. Boom, we leave that meeting. Another issue came up where I appointed somebody to do something for me, to be at a certain place and make sure other people were there. But then the people who were there, who were supposed to be accounted for, were the ones who hit me up saying the person I appointed to account for them was not even there. So I call that person. I'm like, yo, where are you at? Person's like, oh, I don't feel well, whatever, woo woo. I stepped out. Okay, cool. So the other individuals, some other younger individuals, reach out to me and say, yo, yeah, said person wasn't there, never showed up. We all had to leave because fire alarm went off, so we all just left. So I had to confirm. I'm like, so that person never showed up? No. So when I called said person, person stepped out, Said they stepped out, wasn't feeling too hot, went to the store, whatever the case may be. Woo woo. One of my pet peeves is lying. As a kid, it's the norm. It's inevitable. A kid will lie unless they are the best kid in the world, unless they're a saint. But show me one kid that has not lied once, twice, or even lies, once a week, whatever the case may be. Every fucking kid lies. So to me, an adult lying is juvenile. It's an adolescent trait. So I tell this person, all right, okay, whenever you are in the area, come here to the building. We'll sit down, have a powwow. And I told this person, I'm like, what happened? I'm hearing you weren't there. What happened? Person sitting there, no, I was there. No, this is this. I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, no, you weren't. If you were, then just say you were. Or if you weren't, oh shit. Excuse me, y'all. If you weren't there, just be straight up and say you weren't there. If you weren't feeling if you weren't feeling well, just say you weren't feeling well. That's all I'm asking. I'm not telling you to sit there and tell me what I want to hear. I just want to know the real deal. And I told the person, my thing is, I give people what I want in return. So if we're talking, I'm not going to lie to you because I wouldn't want you to lie to me. And then if you do lie to me and you're lying to me in my face, it's just, to me, I feel disrespected. So I told that person, I'm like, lying to me tells me, I take it as disrespect. I feel disrespected because you're judging and you're trying me as a person, or you're trying me and making it seem like I'm an idiot or stupid. Like you're insulting me. You're insulting my intelligence. So I told this person, like, just be straight up right now. We're sitting right across the table, and he couldn't look at me. And I was like, for lying pisses me off, but lying to me, to my face, looking at me in my eyes and lying to me, it pisses me off even more. I told the person, I was like, yo, you're not gonna get in trouble. I'm not even gonna yell at you. I just want to know what's up. Like why you weren't there, whatever the case may be. So long story short, me and my colleagues ended up getting the real story out of the person. Wasn't feeling well, and it just didn't show up on time. Or he said he was in there where he was supposed to be and only saw two people, but no one saw him. And I was just like, okay, fool, if you weren't there, you weren't there. And then there was another situation that happened a week prior. So we assured him, like, yo, you're good to go, man. I told him, from my point of view, like, I'm not gonna take this and look at you as a certain way, because I've been that individual where people have said, oh yeah, watch out for this dude. He has an attitude problem, whatever. He's not good with authority, whatever. And no one gave me a chance, and I had to prove myself. So before I was interrupted, that's crazy. It's crazy. So for those of you listening and watching, I spliced this together because I received a phone call from the individual who I was referring to a little while ago in regards to the weekend debacle. And, everything's good now, you know what I'm saying? That was my goal, all for the communication. So with that person who just got off the phone, I got off the phone with, and the person I was talking about before I received the phone call, I assured both of them. I was like, yo, my goal isn't to downgrade anybody, to fucking step on anybody, to promote me and shit on you. It's just to have a better understanding of what needs to be done and the communication aspect, so that everybody's on the same page and we can all be better together, period. But in order to do that, we have to communicate better, and the communication has to be flowing. No fucking bland, discrete underlying meanings or none of that. It has to be straight up to where everybody can understand that stuff. So, you know, we got everything straight, everything situated, put that all out there, and we should be good to go, man. Now everything, all that tension that we had within the work center is all gone. All because we communicated and we talked it out. Talked it out. That's something that growing up I would not do in regards to any drama, any smoke, any beef, whatever you want to call it, with whomever, a fucking homie, my girlfriend, my wife, whoever at the time. I would not want to talk about it. If I was upset, don't talk to me. I'll eventually get over it, and we'll eventually talk tomorrow, day after tomorrow, whenever the case may be. Just let me do me. Which that does not help anything. And you have to go through things like that, experience stuff like that in order to get where you want to be and be better. You know what I mean? It's all about growth, growing mentally as a person. And I don't know, I'm just a big advocate on communication. And sometimes you slip up and your communication isn't as best, or isn't the best, but that's a part of the game. You know what I mean? Like sometimes LeBron will go out there and he won't have the best game, but he goes back out there, then he'll finish that game, watch the next game, be like, okay, let me learn. Oh, that's where I messed up. Boom. Next game, I'm gonna fix that. And that's just the name of the game. It is what it is. You're gonna be who you're gonna be. You're gonna learn. People learn at different rates, speeds, levels, and all it is you learning is the thing. As long as you learned from mistakes and you learned and you've progressed and you've gotten better, then you're on the right. You're heading in the right direction. So communication is big. If you aren't good at communicating, if you aren't one to talk, try doing it. I mean, you don't have to have a full-blown conversation, but if you aren't one if you get in an altercation and it's like, man, fuck this, no, don't fucking talk to me. First, cool down, come back and be like, hey, let me talk to you for a second. Let me express why that situation made me upset. Let me express why I feel this way, or what you did that caused me to feel this, or I don't understand why you feel that way. And I guarantee that once you sit down, you chop it up, at the conclusion of the conversation, it'll be the tension, if any, will be alleviated, and it'll be better. And then that result will contribute to the next altercation or whatever being a little more minor than usual. You know what I mean? So communication is big. I highly recommend you working on your communication aspects, or your communication, working on communication tools to help you communicate better. Not even just in regards to confrontations, just public speaking. You know what I mean? You take the course in high school. I have a coworker who mentioned that today. She's like, oh yeah, I want to do this, but I'm not about the public speaking part. Like, nah, you got to do it. I told her, like, you got to learn. You're not going to go through life without doing some form of public speaking, whether it's a group of 3 people, a group of 30 people. You're going to do it in some type of platform. So that's just another form of communication. It's just, I don't know. I am really, really, really interested in communication, and I don't know, just helping people get better at it and promoting it. So maybe that's something I should look into. Maybe I should do like a podcast or something. Communication, you know what I mean? That's what this is right here. So, bam. This kind of wanted to update y'all with some of the stuff that's going on with me. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts out there too. I've been, doing my research, learning from other podcasts, taking formats and stuff from other podcasts and stuff like that. And, kind of putting my little spin on it. Especially like podcasts that are like ranked high amongst the platforms they're being streamed on. And I listen to a lot of them. And a lot of them podcasts suck on some real shit. Like, I ain't even being biased or fucking anything like that. But a couple of y'all's podcasts fucking suck, man. I don't know. It's cringe. A lot of them some are cringe. Some are really good. But I don't know. I just take a lot of those other podcasts and try to throw that shit into mine. Whether you like mine or not, I mean, I don't care. I do this because I enjoy it. But those of you out there who listen on a daily basis or on a regular basis, shout out to you. Fist in the air. YeahDat. Thank you. For those of you who watch on the YouTube, thank you for subscribing and tuning in and supporting the homie. I got love for you. I'll support you in whatever venture that you got going on, because I'm that type of dude, man. I like to see my people win. I'm a supporter. So, but with that being said, make sure you follow the podcast at YeahDat Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at westcoast_Rob. Go down to the show notes. Click on the links. Use riverside.fm. Use captivate.fm. Go to fucking get some subs. Whatever the case may be. Support your homie. What else I got going on, man? Yeah, I'm going to stay tuned for some more episodes. We've been going strong thus far in the deuce. And we're just going to keep rolling. We're going to just keep getting better. Starting to hit our groove, find our groove, hit our stride. So, I may even do another podcast, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been in talks with some people about doing other podcasts and being featured on podcasts, man. So, we'll see. It's all about networking, helping people out. But that's enough of that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I've kind of went a little long-winded, but it's all good. That's the whole point of the cast, of the pod. So thank y'all for listening and tuning in. Make sure you follow me on every podcast platform, like I said. And if you listen to the podcast, make sure you rate it. It's very, very, very important that you rate the show, the episode, or whatever the case may be on whatever podcast platform. If it's Apple, man, hit the 5 stars. If it's Spotify, hit the 5 stars. If it's Google, if it's Audible, iHeartRadio, Amazon, please make sure you rate the episode, you rate the show, and we go from there. It helps me and helps the show get some push so that more people can be introduced to the show. So please make sure you rate it, you like it, you comment, you share it, everything. So that being said, it's the homie West Coast Rob signing out. Thank you for listening. Until the next episode next week. YeahDat.